Hello and thank you for clicking onto this video. So it's all about this tote and I'm not sure what the name of it is. It's a CC, it looks like a shopper tote, and I bought it from a really reputable seller. I bought it really cheaply because she didn't know the history of it or whether it was real or fake. Now I know nothing about Chanel. I'm not really a fan of their bags, but I know somebody that is. So I thought it was a bit of a challenge to buy this and gift it and to try and figure out if it was real or fake before I hand it over. Now I'm about to hand it over to somebody and I still not sure whether this bag is real or fake. I've actually submitted some pictures to Purse for him, and if I get the results, I'll put them in the description box below. But I thought I'd go ahead and upload the video anyway and just show you the things that I was looking at to try and see if it was real or fake. I thought it might be helpful at least. I think the problem is because it's this style of bag, shopper tote. I mean, this is really popular from Chanel, these and their flat bags. But what I find with this one is it has the Chanel embossed at the bottom, and I think that's pretty unique. I haven't seen another tote bag with the Chanel logo at the bottom. I've seen a bucket bag with the Chanel logo at the bottom, but nothing like this. And so that means it's really vintage or really fake, because that's a problem too. A lot of the counterfeit manufacturers are taking an original design and putting their own little twist on it too. So it doesn't matter how many hours I'm going to spend on Google, it might mean that this is a unique one-off from the counterfeiters. But I am determined to persevere and find out. The other thing is the quality of this is really, for if it is a counterfeit, it is really very good. This is a leather bag, and I think whoever I give it to, I mean, if it turns out to be a counterfeit, won't mind because it is leather and it is very good quality. The handles, these are longer than some of the more modern shopper totes, and I think it's because this could be really like a shoulder bag as well rather than a tote. The leather in the handles is so soft, so it'll be so comfortable to wear. I actually think it's some sort of lambskin because I can't sort of describe the softness. It's so good, and there's no cracks or anything at all in the handles, and the stitching is absolutely perfect as well, and there's absolutely no signs of wear throughout the bag. The corners and all are very good condition. Even the colour on the little feet is a very good condition. It's just maybe some of the zips are losing a bit of the colour rather than tarnishing. One thing we look at when I was trying to sort of authenticate it to see if there was another bag like it, and the only other bag was a medallion CC tote, and it had some of the features. It had the quilting and it had the double C's, but then it had different things. It had different hardware and it had a back pocket, but it did have the same sort of look on the outside. The outside is definitely, the stitching in the quilting is very important to look at when you're trying to determine whether it's real or fake. That thing where they say you need to get a magnifying glass is not a bad idea, because I didn't know that Chanel have a high count on their stitching on the little diamonds. So each diamond, the side, should apparently make up more than, it should be 9 or 10 stitches. So you really do need to get in with the magnifying glasses to count them. This one does have 10 stitches, which means that it is a very, either it's very good quality counterfeit or a very good quality authentic bag. But you can't really go by that on its own, because apparently there's a bit of controversy that Chanel did use lower stitch count on vintage bags. So there's that as well. The stitching should be definitely in straight lines, and the diamonds, the little diamond parts, should be evenly spaced. Now this bag, I can't fault it at all. The stitching is all perfect. There's not even a loose thread, so it means it's really, really good condition. The only alarming thing is that this is one big bit of leather in the front and in the sides. So the leather stretches round from that side round to this side, and it's all in straight lines. When you turn it round to the back is all evenly spaced and in straight lines, but where it joins the other fabric, it doesn't match. So if I can bring in, and I think that there's something off about that. I know when I was reading up about the flap bags, that the flap, when it comes down, it matches in with whatever leather is on and design that is underneath. And I just think the same should have maybe applied to the side, and it's the same on that side as well. There's no matching there whatsoever, and I think that is definitely a big sort of alarm bell, and one that I would need to do more research on. So that would definitely put me in the side of it being counterfeit. The CCs is also an important feature to look at when you're trying to determine whether the bag is real or not. And it has to have a certain look, and it doesn't matter whether the interlocking C's is on leather, on metal, or on fabric. It has to be set out a certain way, and that way is the right C. So the C here, the top of it should come overlap of the left C, which this one does, and then it's the opposite way round at the bottom. So the right C should be sitting underneath the left C at the bottom, and that one does. Again, that doesn't mean to say that this is real, because the counterfeiters now are paying more attention to detail, especially with their higher end counterfeits. So you expect to pay more for a leather counterfeit, and they are spending a bit more attention to detail. No, I think the cheaper ones, the cheaper counterfeits, do that. One of the areas they do mess up on is the C's, so it is definitely important to look at that. Hold on a second. That was the postman, sorry. So that is the CCs and the outside of the bag. Now the hardware. Four little gold feet, and they seem okay. They are actually in very good condition. They're pretty plain, and Chanel use plain feet on some of their bags, so we can't really tell from that. So the next thing is the zips. Zips. Chanel, the problem is Chanel have used millions of manufacturers of zips throughout the years, different kinds, one of them being Lampo. Lampo were used by a couple of famous high-end designers, and this one happens to look like a Lampo zip. So I'll just show you there. It has a sort of unique shape. It is sort of straight along the sides and the top, but then it comes out into like a round shape, like a bulb or a shield, and it definitely has the look of a Lampo zip. Now, one way you can tell if it's a real Lampo zip is if it has the words Lampo or like a little inscription. There's good little images available. So if it has that, then that's a good indication that not only that it is a real Lampo zip, but that the bag is real. Now that inscription would be underneath. Unfortunately, underneath this one, it is completely blank. But in some of the research that I've did, apparently in some of the vintage models, Lampo left some of the zippers blank underneath. So I'm still not 100% sure whether this is a real Lampo zipper or not. The little pull, There's a name for these. I think they're still on modern Chanel bags. I'm not sure what they're called. I just call it medallion. And that's it there. And it has the interlocking C's engraved. And it's like that on both sides. The problem I had with all the images that I looked up, the C's on these little medallions are not engraved. They sit proud on top of the metal, sort of like a 3D effect. I've only seen one bag, and that had an engraved CCs, and it was supposed to be an authentic bag, so I'm not totally sure. I think the majority of the bags have the CC sitting on top, so I'm sort of pointed. This would indicate that it's a counterfeit bag. The zips, there is zips inside this bag. There's 2 zips. It has a zipper compartment that runs across here, and then there's a main zipper that runs down here. This little compartment here, and that one actually fell off, so it's pretty easy to show you. And that's it there. So it just has the interlocking C's, and it's just like that on the other side as well. It's pretty dirty actually. The problem with these particular ones, of all the images that I've seen, I haven't seen this particular zip at all. So that could mean that it's a unique one made by the counterfeiters, or it could mean that it's totally vintage and I haven't found it yet, which is really hard. So I can't tell anything with the zips at all. The next thing is the inside lining of the bag. Now, this is leather. Most Chanel bags use the leather lining, and it seems like it's coated, and a lot of the high-end ones coated their leather inside just to protect the leather and whatever's inside. It's hard to pick up here. It would be easier if your lining was material, because a lot of the counterfeiters, that's where they really don't pay attention to detail. They use pretty thin linings, usually not the right colour, usually not the right type of material, so it's pretty easy to tell whether a bag is real or fake by the lining. If it is a material lining, I just can't tell nothing with that lining whatsoever. The next really important thing is the code, the serial code or authentication number. Chanel unfortunately didn't put them in their bags till the early 80s. So if you have a bag predated that, the chances there wasn't never a code. And then even then, the codes that they originally introduced were on a sticker, and a lot of them have came off, especially with the leather bags, as you have a tendency to wipe clean leather, and sometimes they would come off that way. So unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be ever a sticker on this bag. I've looked to see if there's any sort of residue where a sticker was, but I can't find any whatsoever. And yeah, so that makes it hard as well. There is a little pocket, like a mobile phone pocket in here, that I had to do more research on to see if any of the bags have any sort of mobile phone pockets like that. This one has a piece of leather and then a little bit of elastic at the sides. The next really important thing is to authenticate is the logo, the brand. So on this particular bag, it has the interlocking C's, Chanel and Paris. And on first impression, it looks right, because another tip is that if it's gold hardware, it has to be a gold stamp. If silver hardware, it has to be a silver stamp. So that looks okay. The problem is I have never seen the three elements together in the one stamp. So I've seen the interlocking C's and Chanel together, and I've seen the Chanel and the Paris together, but I haven't seen these three together in the one stamp. So honestly, that points to me that it's either very vintage or it's completely counterfeit. So, but it does seem to be placed very well. That is basically the bag in a nutshell. It's still a really gorgeous bag. It is sort of unique. I have to give it a little bit of a clean up there, but I think whoever gets it will appreciate it, and it just looks very good quality, especially the softness of the leather. If you have any suggestions or advice for me, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day or a lovely evening wherever you are. Thank you. Bye bye.